Hello and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing the Year 4 Times Tables assessment. It's an interesting one because it's a new test that the government introduced a couple of years ago. However, due to COVID, it's not actually happened very often. I think it maybe took place in 2019. But since then, obviously, it's not happened, and I think that might have been the first time the children ever did it. However, it's back this year, 2022, and the expectation is that the children know all of their times tables, right from up to 12. So up to their 12 times tables, their 2s, 5s, 10s, 3s, 4s, 8s, 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, 11s, and 12s. Now, they learn them at different points in the year. So in year 2, they'll learn their 2s, 5s, 10s. In year 3, they should do 3, 4s, and 8s. And then in year 4, they should know the rest of them. Be ready for that and be ready for that assessment at the end of year 4. Now, what I say to a lot of parents is, I know the school's probably only showing your children the 3, 4s, and 8s times tables in year 3, but the quicker you can get started practicing these, the better. It's one of those life skills that is so important, and it's one of those things. It's just up there as important as reading, really, as regards something the children need to be able to do. I'm not sure I'm completely a fan of the assessment at the end of year 4, but knowing the times tables, children knowing their times tables, being able to say them quickly is a really useful skill. So definitely something that parents can help children with at home. So I hope you enjoy the video. I hope you find it useful. Please like the video because it helps us out. It helps out the channel. And if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe for more videos about primary education. Okay, thanks. Hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. Hi and welcome back to the channel. So in this video I'm going to be talking about the year 4 times tables assessment. Like I said, it's not happened very often, and due to COVID for the last 2 years it's definitely not happened, but I think before then it was a relatively new assessment. Essentially what it is a new year 4 multiplication times tables check is now a requirement in schools. Your child will need to take a short online test to make sure their times tables knowledge is at the expected level. It will be done on a computer screen, and yeah, it's not a long test, it's a quick one. The idea behind it is to see what times tables your child knows and which ones they don't know, to inform the teacher's planning and try and make sure your child knows all of those times tables by the end of year 4, because it really helps them going into their SATs prep for year 5 and 6. Now, it's a new assessment, and it's not been around for very long. It's an online test. Okay, it's only for year 4 children. The pupils are asked to answer 25 questions on times tables from the 2s up to the 12. So they need to know their times tables from 2 times up to 12 times tables by the time they do this check in June around the end of year 4. They are given 6 seconds per question. So a question will pop up on the screen. They'll be given 6 seconds in which to answer. When they've answered it, they're given 3 seconds rest in between each question. So in total, those 25 questions should last less than 5 minutes, really, when you think about it. So it's a very short test. Now, the questions are likely to be about the 6, 7s, 8s, and 9s, and 12 times tables. They're most likely to come up as these are the hardest for most children to learn. So it's a good idea that, most children will learn their 2s, 5s, and 10s when they're in year 2. They should be learning their 3s, their 4s, and their 8s in year 3. But they'll need to know all of them by the time they get to do this test in year 4 if they can. But it's a good idea to focus on the 6, 7s, 8s, and 9s, and 12s, because these are the ones that children find the most tricky. So if they can get learning those ones quickly, then they'll stand a better chance of doing well in this assessment. But first and foremost, the check is about finding out which children are struggling with their times tables. So the teachers want to know in the year group which ones are able to do it and which ones are finding it quite tricky, so they can get that extra support. And that's really the primary reason for this. It's to inform the teachers' judgments and planning, so that teachers can plan, okay, this child's struggling with these times tables, we better do some more work on the 6s, or this child is struggling with the 8s, so let's put some more support in for that child. So that's the real idea behind it. It's not a judgment on what your child can do, but it should be a way for the school to know how their teaching is going and adjust their focus if needed. Now, what are the benefits of your child knowing their times tables by the end of year 4? Well, the big benefit is it's a huge life skill. If I think about the things that I learned in school, one thing I use quite often is my times tables. Okay, thinking about when I'm thinking about money, percentages, working out things in the sale price. It's such a life skill that you do need to have. A lot of jobs, particularly that jobs involve maths, it's a requirement. It's a really important life skill that we want our children to be able to do. So that's why it's so important that they know these times tables and know them quickly. Additional to which, it's also something that if they don't know their times tables, when they do their SATs in year 5, in year 6, they really struggle to answer those questions, because a lot of the questions require the children to have a quick grasp of their times tables. Okay, fractions questions, percentages questions, multiplication, division questions. It's all encompassing. They will need to know these times tables quickly if they're going to have a chance of passing those SATs at the end of year 6. So it is important. So why was it introduced? Well, a school minister called Nick Gibb said that leaving primary school with a fundamental grasp of basic numeracy is as important as being able to read. And just as the phonics check has helped more children to learn to read, this timetable will ensure more pupils know their times table. So it was put in by the government because they felt that children were not learning their times tables as they should do, and that they should know them by the end of year 4. So there was a reason why they did it, but first and foremost, it should inform teachers, about what children know their times tables and which children need a little bit more support. So when is it going to happen? Well, just for your own knowledge, the date it'll take place in June. Okay, sorry, not 2020. That was when it should have taken place before COVID, but it will happen this year, June 2022. And schools are required by law now to get the children to do this check. So it's like all of the other assessments, they have to have all children attempt this test. It's going to take place in the month of June, okay, and within the 3-week period starting from Monday the 6th of June, 3 weeks after that date. So it could be the week beginning the Monday the 6th of June, could be Monday the week beginning the 13th of June, or Monday the 20th of June. So those are the dates that you need to be thinking about when you're looking at when your child might take this. The school might decide to run those tests across all 3 weeks, depending on how busy they are and their own school calendar. If you ask your teacher when they're likely to do this, okay, they should be able to tell you, but it will take place starting from Monday, the 6th of June, 2022. So how can you help your child prepare? Well, first of all, not to overstress them, okay? For some children, maths can be quite a source of anxiety. So the best way to keep the test stress-free is to work some times tables practice into your daily routine, okay? And start to do this well in advance. If you're doing it a month before the actual test, okay, you're going to see some impact, but the child might get overstressed and they might have too much to try and learn. So the best thing to do is to start this early. Try and get this into a routine, sort of even in year 2, definitely through year 3, to help them practice regularly. By the time they come to year 4, they won't have a lot of timetables to learn. They should know most of them by that point. But with this regular practice, your child will get used to tackling these kinds of questions with confidence and look forward to times tables practice rather than dreading it. If your child is feeling nervous in approach to the check, don't panic. I'm going to just share with you some top 5 tips for helping your child to learn their times tables and help them to get them up to speed in a short period of time. Okay, so first of all, wall charts are great. A wall chart is basically a chart like this. It has all the times tables on, up to 12. You can get them on Amazon very easily. You can download ones on the internet for free. But you want it big enough so they can see it, and most importantly, to put it somewhere they're going to see it every day. So, for instance, you could put them over the sink so that your child will see them when they're brushing their teeth, or you might want it somewhere in their bedroom that they're going to look at maybe as soon as they wake up in the morning or before they go to bed at night. They can just go through some of those questions with you and make it fun. But you'll be amazed how quickly they learn them when they see these facts every single day. Children are like sponges. Okay, they learn things a lot quicker than adults do, as long as they're being shown them regularly. So there's the wall chart. Like I said, you can get these on the internet or you can buy them on Amazon for quite cheap. Step 2, learn the tricks for difficult times tables. So there are different tricks that you can use to learn times tables. For instance, on YouTube, there's a video by Andrew Jeffrey for helping you with a 7 times table. There's a trick with the 9s here. You can just see this image. If they learn the trick that, it's going to be 9 times 1 is 9, 9 times 2 is 18. But if you look at the pattern, you can see 1 and 8, 2 and 7, 3 and 6, 4 and 5, 5 and 4, 6 and 3, 7, 2, 8 and 1. So you can see if you can get them to recognize patterns within times tables, that can also help them to remember them. The second trick with the 9s is obviously 18. 1 and 8 equals 9. 2 and 7, which is 2 times 7 equals 9. 3 and 6 equals 9. 4 and 5 equals 9. 5 and 4 equals 9. So if you add those two numbers together, that actually makes 9. And that's another trick to help them remember those 9 times tables. Interestingly enough, just doing this video has given me the idea of sharing with you in some other videos, other ways you can, other tricks and things you can do to learn those times tables. So I will share them in later videos. But yeah, have a look on YouTube already, see what tricks are out there, or ask the teachers if they know any at school for helping you learn the tricky ones like the 9s and 7s. Right, this one is a big one, really one that I'm fond of, and it's playing games. Now, research has proven that when a child plays a game, they learn things much, much quicker. So if you can make it a game and make it fun, it really encourages that learning process. So games and challenges are a great way to support learning, and a few minutes a day will help make all the difference. You could play a game of Snap using some flashcards. You could make them, and when they recognize a times table that's the answer to that question, you could match them up. You could use that using pairs. You might want to do it. I like to do this with children in school when they're lining up for lunch. Do a little quick quiz. Who can answer these times tables questions quickly? You might do it while you're lining up, waiting for the bus, or before you go to bed. You might do a few questions. If they've got brothers and sisters, you could make it in a competitive game. So yeah, make it a little bit competitive. It works really well. And you could also have some prizes as well. But these games really encourage the children to learn their times tables. All right. Make them short and sweet. Don't make it a game that goes on too long. Otherwise, your child will get bored with it and won't look forward to it as much. So here's an example of a game that you can play online. A really great one called Hit the Button. Best thing about it is it's free. So let me just show you. If you click on type Hit the Button into Google, it will come up probably the top search. And here's an example of me playing it. So not just times tables, you can also do division facts, square numbers, halves, doubles, number bonds. But the great thing about it is you can choose any times table, okay? And it's also done on the screen like the actual times table test is. So if I just give you an example, we'll go with the nice and easy, the 3 times table, okay? And you play, and the timer starts ticking down. So 59, you can see they've got a minute. 1 times 3. Got a nice ring to it as well. It's quite engaging. 5 times 3, 7 3s, 10 3s, 11 3s. Can you answer that one? 33, well done. 12 3s. Can you answer that one? 36, well done. 1 3, 5 3s. Can you answer that one? 15. So basically, it gives them the score down here. And basically, when the minute's up, you can see what the high score is. They could have a personal best, a PB. Or you could have a record in your house. Maybe you want to do it as a family where somebody holds the highest record and it's up to your child to try and beat that record. So a really great game. Use this a lot in school. Really, really engages the children. Okay, so that's Hit the Button as a really good game that you can play. Step number 4, can you make it real? Okay, by this I mean, can you get your child to understand the point of learning times tables in real life? So instead of just learning them by rote and not really knowing why, try to show them opportunities where they might use them in problem solving. For example, when you're cooking, can they change a recipe by timesing every number by 2? Okay, so you're doubling it, making it not just for yourself, but for 2 people. Can you possibly use things like sweets or football cards, okay, or play games that involve money, okay, where they're having to use money to see how their times tables are useful. So if you make it real, this can also help, okay, and also helps to explain why they need to learn them. And finally, practice on the computer. So the actual test does take place on a screen, so it helps your child become comfortable reading and answer questions on that screen. And here you can see just some other really great websites you can use. Timetables Rockstars is a new one that schools are using, and very engaging, very fun. Ask your school about it. Maybe they do it already. Okay, they should have a login for you to use at home. If so, another one is Mathletics. Your school might use this website, and there's timetables questions on there that you can practice. But my own favorite one, just because you don't need a subscription for it and it's free, is Hit the Button, which I shared with you earlier. So that's the assessment. Just to recap then, it's going to take place in June, starting from the week beginning the Monday the 6th of June, and anything you can do to prepare your child for that assessment is going to help them. So I hope you found that video useful. I hope it's given you some information on this timetable assessment that's going to take place soon. And I will put some more videos up on cool and tricky tricks that you can use to help learn those timetables. Okay, once again, thank you for watching. Please subscribe for more videos about primary education that are going to be coming up, relevant videos that are based on the current curriculum. And thank you already if you've subscribed to the channel. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.